Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Is it visible properly, Blackboard?
Yes, sir.
So we'll continue with our that previous topic. I think yesterday we finalized this R equals to 67K, right now. So that at no flow condition, we got that output voltage. We finalize it as 8 volt RMS, right now, and that is equivalent to 12 volt peak. Is it? Later on, for this 0.55 volt, instead of 0.55, how much it was? I think 0.11, na? Am I right? During our practical session, we finalized these
Yes, sir.
8 volt RMS and 0.11 volt RMS, right? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Is it visible properly?
No.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Okay. Okay. So 0.11 volt peak, is it in RMS or peak? I remember this value, but what about whenever the flow occurs, at that time, the reactance of capacitor will go down and hence the obtained output voltage will be very small. So how much it was? We done it during our practical session. You just have to turn your pages. Check it. Hope so you might have noted it. Is it 8 volt RMS? During no flow condition, is it 8 volt RMS?
0.08.
0.0,
Eight.
this one. Okay, 0.08 volt. RMS, na?
yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And its peak value was? Don't write your answer in chat box. Huh?
0.1131.
Okay, so 0.11 volt was the peak value, correct. 0.11 volt peak. Is it? So here we will note down these peak values. This one adds 12 volts and this one adds 0.11 volts, right? So we will have the two signals after that flow sensor, either 12 volt peak or 0.11 volt peak, right? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So at your end, just draw these two signal waveforms and note down it properly. This one will be when no flow occurs and when flow will occur. Okay. Now, no issue about that 12 volt peak signal. We can rectify it by using our conventional rectifier, but 0.11 volt peak signal we can't rectify by using our conventional rectifier, and that's why yesterday we finalized we will go for precision rectifier. And what is that precision rectifier, or how the op-amp can be used as a precision rectifier, that today we will discuss. Is it okay? So shall we
Yes,
go
sir.
for? Okay. So see the simple diagram for that op-amp as a precision rectifier. You also draw it at your end so that during practical session it will be available to you. Is it correct? Are you familiar with it? Just check the circuit diagram and note down at your end. Okay, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Note down at your end. You can take the screenshot. I will be going to explain first the working of this circuit, how it will be going to work as a precision rectifier, and later on we will use it. We will finalize the values of all components. Okay. So shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, second op amp, it is acting as an adder. Okay. This one, second op amp, it is acting as an adder, and first op amp, it is simply acting as a inverting amplifier. Okay. So see, during first positive half cycle of input signal, I will draw it over here. Suppose this is our input signal V in 0, then pi and 2 pi. So for the time period 0 to pi, the signal available at this node, which is nothing but input signal of first op amp as well as one of the input of second. Is it? As second op amp is used working as a adder. Okay. So during first positive half cycle, the output of first op amp, that will be what? We will call it as VO1. During the positive half of input, what will be the output of first op amp? Will it be same positive half cycle or negative half cycle?
Negative half cycle.
Negative half cycle, yes, correct, because it is working in inverting configuration, right? So as output will be negative half, diode D2 will conduct. Is it? This cathode terminal is connected to the output of op amp. So as output of op amp is negative, we can say diode D2 will be in forward bias condition and it will start to conduct. Is it? So see, just imagine there will be a closed path like this. Agree? Through this resistor, I will call it as R by 2. Why it is R by 2? That also I will go on to explain. Is it okay? First op amp will go on to act as open circuit. Right? Now, the question is, how much will be the output at this node over here? Can anyone? It is working in inverting configuration. For inverting amplifier, what is the output? What is gain of inverting amplifier? Now you are in third year. I am asking you the questions from first year syllabus. What is the gain of inverting amplifier? Is it minus RF by R1?
Minus RF upon RI.
Yes, RF by RI. That is feedback resistance divided by input resistance. Correct now? So looking towards this loop, what is the feedback resistor? This diode is acting as a closed circuit now because the output of first op amp is negative during the first positive half cycle, that is for time period 0 to pi. Okay. Diode D2 will conduct, and I am asking about how much will be the voltage at this node. What is the feedback resistor? Feedback resistor is R by 2. Is it? RF is R by 2 divided by input resistance is R. So how much will be the output?
0.5.
Therefore, VO equals to V in by 2. Agree? That is minus V in by 2 actually. It will be minus V in by 2. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, see that minus V in by 2 we are applying at this node. Is it? At the same time, another input to the second op amp is coming from directly the input signal source. Right? And what is input signal source? It is V in. Yes or no? That is positive
Yes,
half.
sir.
It is positive half. So positive half plus minus V in by 2. This is the net input voltage to this second op amp. Agree? So what will be the output of second op amp? It will be again inverted. Right? Inverted of what? Sum of input. Or one by one you can determine the output of second op amp. See, by this minus V in by 2, how much will be the output of second op amp? It will be inverted. Is it? Output of second op amp due to voltage available, we will call that nodes as VA and VB. Okay. So that it will be very clear. So see, during first positive half cycle, VA is nothing but what? Minus V in by 2. By that minus V in by 2, how much will be the output of second op amp? Again, it's gain, that is minus RF by input resistance. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So how much it will be? And later on, you have to consider the another input that is directly coming from input signal source. This one V in, that is positive half cycle as it is. So VB is nothing but positive half cycle, and by that, how much will be the output of second op amp? Again, it will be RF by R1 times of input. Is it? So you will observe the net output of this circuitry, it will be positive half as it is. As it is, dual inverting configuration. Right? You just have to add it. Okay. Later on, whenever negative half cycle will start, the output of first op amp, it will be positive, that is VO1 will be positive. During the negative half of input, diode D1 will conduct now, and it will going on to act as a short circuit path like this. Is it? So VA, it will be 0. While V in is what? Negative half cycle, which we are applying directly as the second input to the second op amp, and hence its output will be RF by input resistance times, and both are equal. Remember, all the resistors, that's why purposely I written it as R. This one is RF, which should be equals to R. This resistor, it should be half of that remaining resistor, and R compensating, it is RF parallel with RI or R1. Same over here, RF parallel with RI or R1. Okay. So during the negative half of input, the output of the second op amp, it will be inverted, that is minus RF by R1 times. Means it will be again positive half cycle because second input goes to 0. That first input, that is VA, it remains 0. As diode D1 will conduct, it will go on to bypass that input signal like this. So that VA, it will be almost 0. And hence, you will observe the output of this precision rectifier, it will be, suppose, This one is considered as a VP. Same will appear at the output as VP. No loss. Because yesterday, from your side, you determine V in minimum of the op-amp was equals to 3.5 microvolts. Is it? So if we consider that input signal of 0.11 volts peak, the same output we will going on to obtain. That is 0.11 volts as a peak voltage. Right? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And if that input signal goes to as a 12 volt peak, again the obtained output voltage will be 12 volt peak. So the output of this precision rectifier circuitry, if we connect a capacitor to smooth the pulsating DC into pure DC like this, it will become a straight line that is of either 0.11 volts amplitude or it will be of 12 volt amplitude. Is it okay? Now take, suppose this RF equals to R, already I mentioned, I will note down directly this one as a 10K, this one also as a 10K, this input resistance as 10 kilo ohm, this should be 5K. You have to remember this one, this is most important, okay? And that compensating, it will be again 5K, 5K. Diodes D1 and D2, as we are using 50 Hz input signal, that means it is low frequency signal. So you can take the diode D1 equals to D2 equals to 1N4007. No issue about its switching frequency because the input signal frequency it is only 50 Hz. While its amplitude is variable, either 0.11 volt peak or 12 volt peak. Is it clear? So during the next practical session, you have to implement the same circuit and how to check the results. While testing this circuit, don't connect this capacitor. We will go on to observe only the pulsating DCs, but we have to use it as an input to our signal conditioning circuit, and that's why I preferred here that parallel capacitor or capacitor as a filter. You can take the value of this filter capacitor as 220 microfarad with somewhat high voltage rating that should be greater than how much peak voltage we are applying to this capacitor. Maximum peak voltage we will go on to apply is 12 volts. So you can take this capacitor like 25 volt voltage rating. Okay, so 220 microfarad and 25 volt. I will suggest this capacitor as a filter capacitor. If available is 50 volts, 63 volts, etc., then also it will be useful. No issue about it. Okay, only the capacitance of that capacitor it should be minimum 100 microfarad. Then and then it will go on to work properly as a filter because the frequency of pulsating DC is dependent on frequency of that applied signal. So for this obtained pulsating DC, frequency is 100 Hz. That is twice of input signal frequency. Input signal frequency is 50, but the pulsating DC frequency it will be twice. That is 100 Hz. Is it clear? While testing
Yes,
this
sir.
circuit, initially you have to take that V in as 0.11 volts, and later on just change its amplitude to 12 volts. Yesterday, during practical session, we already observed by using that generator, by editing its property, you can give the input in terms of amplitude of that generator, right? In terms of peak voltage. By default, it was 6 volts. So you can edit it as a 0.11 volt. Only the frequency of that input signal, it should retain as a 50 Hz. Only change the amplitude and parallelly test the output signal. Is it okay? So at this end, we observe the output of this circuitry will be either 12 volts or 0.11 volts. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if, shall I remove it now?
Yes, sir.
You just take the screenshot. Okay, now we have to design the signal conditioning circuit to interface this flow sensor with our microcontroller. Again, one of the pin of that microcontroller, we will going to configure it as the input pin. And the second point is we can't connect the output of this precision rectifier directly to that configured input pin. Why? Or can we connect it directly?
No, sir.
No,
Why no?
microcontroller binaries were operated.
Yes.
1 0
डिजिटल सिग्नल लागू शकता सर.
I'm not getting properly what you are saying.
Sir,
Sir,
input
it
to the
requires
micro.
either high pulse or low pulse. Active high or active low, digital signal.
It's okay now, but we have it. We have 0.11 volt that will be considered by your microcontroller as logic low level or 12 volt. So can we apply 12 volt as a logic high to our microcontroller?
No, sir. Logic
No,
low
no.
is okay, but high is not.
Yes,
It's up to
100%
5
correct.
volts.
Yes, 100% correct answer. That 12 volt, we can't apply it as a logic high. It will be dangerous to our microcontroller because it can sustain up to 5 volts. Is it? So we have to make that 12 volt to equivalent to 5 volt and 0.11 volt almost equals to 0 volt. Is it okay? So again, use the op-amp and try to design and develop that signal conditioning circuit. What you will do? So simple. Again, op-amp as a comparator. Already so many times we done it. Simply we will use R1, R2 as a voltage divider. This is nothing but output of precision rectifier. With that capacitor filter, that means it will be either 12 volt or 0.11 volt. Is it? Whenever it will be 0.11 volt, no issue about this node voltage. It will be almost very small, negligible, almost equals to 0. But whenever the precision rectifier output will be 5 volt, when it will be 12 volt, at that time, the op-amp output, it should be 5. Is it? And that's why we have to compare it by using again comparator with somewhat fixed reference voltage developed by this another voltage divider. This VCC or VDC, we will going to use again same, that is 12 volt DC at the output side. We have to use one series driver with Zener to limit the output voltage to 5. I will prefer here 5 volt Zener. Okay. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just let me know about the inverting and non-inverting pin. We will call this one as V reference. We will going to take that V reference somewhat greater than the node voltage obtained across this voltage divider whenever the output of precision rectifier is 0.11 volt. Accordingly, we'll take the reference value, and whenever it will goes to 12, because there are only two chances in this case. It will be either 0.11 volts or 12 volts, right now. So whenever it will goes to 12 volts, at that time, the output of our op-amp should be positive, otherwise it should remain negative. And hence, I will prefer here non-inverting terminal for the sensor and this one as inverting. Is it okay? Again, I will take that V reference. Suppose it is of, for example, 5 volts. We can take any one. And when precision rectifier output will be 12, at that time, this node voltage it should be 5.1. Yes or no? And when
Yes.
it will be 0.11, at that time, this node voltage will be very small as compared to reference voltage, and hence the output of op-amp will be minus Vsat, and hence our controller input it will be 0 volts, right? And if precision rectifier output goes to 12, we will go on to select R1 and R2 in such a way that the voltage divider and that node voltage it will become 5 volts. That will be dominant now as compared to that reference voltage, which we will go on to set it as a 5 volts, and hence controller input will go to 5. That is logic high. So is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now design and develop that remaining components. Finalize it. We'll take again that R1 dash equals to 10K. Find out the value of R2 dash. Reference value should be 5. This node voltage it should be 5 by R1 dash and R2 dash. And its source voltage is 12 volt DC. That R2 dash equals to VDC into, sorry, node voltage, V reference equals to VDC into R2 dash divided by R1 dash plus R2 dash. Those who yet don't know about how to find out that reference value, for them I written the formula. So you all have to try for this one. So R2 dash equals to, note down it and calculate. R1 dash I consider 10K, you can consider any another value also, no issue. Fast. Don't give your answer in chat box.
Seven point 140.
7.14 kilo ohm. Again, we will prefer here one potentiometer of 10 kilo ohm, and will manage its value as a 7.14 K, or simply by connecting. Last time I already explained how to set that reference voltage. We'll take that 10K, we'll connect one voltmeter across this potentiometer, we'll move that wiper in such a way that that DMM will go on to read the voltage as 5 volt, and later on we will go on to lock that wiper terminal, right now. So select the potentiometer of 10 kilo ohm. Now about this one. Again, I will take this R1 as 10K. To have the node voltage as 5.1, how much should be the value of R2? Use the same type of formula, only yes, its input is that you have to consider as a 12 volt, because we want to obtain the maximum output after that flow sensor as a 12 volt by using our precision rectifier. It will get slightly deeper, slightly greater than 7.14. Again, I will suggest preferred here one more potentiometer.
7.4K.
7.4K. Okay. So this potentiometer should be of 10K and adjust its value to 7.4 kilo ohm, so that it will be able to produce this node voltage at 5.1 volts. Is it? Is it okay? Now,
Yes, sir.
you just do the one calculation again. Just note down, if precision rectifier output is 0.11 volts, if precision rectifier output is 0.11 volt, how much will be the voltage at this node instead of 5.1? That means your DC source will be of 0.11 volt. This R1 is 10K. R2, you already set it at 7.4K. How much will be the node voltage? And that should be less than reference voltage, so that the output of op-amp will be minus Vsat, and hence, after this complete signal conditioning circuit, its output will be logic 0, or it will be 0 volts. So in this way, we can exactly manage that input to our microcontroller after our flow sensor and the signal conditioning circuit exactly either at 0 or 5 volts. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when output of precision rectifier is 0.11 volts, how much is the node voltage?
0.04.
Okay, it will be 0.04, and that is less than reference voltage, and hence the output of op-amp will be minus Vsat. This diode will be going to block it, and hence the output of this signal conditioning circuit going towards our microcontroller, that will be 0 exactly, right now. Now, in our all signal conditioning circuit, one part is remaining. We generally talk about the resistance of all that signal conditioning circuits, or that voltage divider, or even if today we discuss about that precision rectifier, we consider all that resistors almost all as a 10K, only one was there, three was there of 5 kilo ohms, right now. We talk only in terms of their resistances, but what about wattage? See, this 10K resistor, it will be available in SMD form, right? That 10 kilo ohm resistor, it will be available in SMD form. It will be available in quarter watt, will be available as a half watt, 1 watt, 2 watt, 10 watt, etc. Are you agree with this?
Yes, sir.
See, whatever the resistors, we discuss and finalize in our voltage dividers of that signal conditioning circuit, as well as per our today's discussion for precision rectifier, we finalize all that resistors in terms of their resistances, but yet we do not discuss about their wattage. For example, this R1 dash, I suggested take it as a 10K, but what about its wattage, power handling capacity? This 10 kilo ohm will be available in SMD, quarter watt, half watt, 1 watt, 2 watt, etc., 10 watts, like this. Or even if that wire wound and all that, rheostat and all that. Can we go for rheostat of 10 kilo ohm? Have you seen the rheostat? It is one type of
Yes.
variable resistor, very large in size. A wire is wounded on that ceramic material, and according to the position of that slider, its resistance we can vary from 0 value to its maximum value as per the ratings given by the manufacturer, right now. So my question is 10 kilo ohm I suggested, shall we go for rheostat? Or how you will decide it? That thing you have to perform now. Okay. So how you will going to determine the power handling capacity? It's very simple. Simply take P equals to I square R, power drop, or power handling capacity of that device. It is I square R. Okay. So just find out in this series combination how much will be the I. These two resistors combinedly will be going to decide the value of current flowing through their series equivalent. Correct now? See, for example, this is 10K. We will going to set this R2 dash as 7.14K. So the total resistance of this path, it is how much? R total, you have to write it like this. R total equals to 10K plus 7.14K. Right now? So it will be 17.14 kilo ohms. Right? Therefore, I current flowing to this series equivalent circuit, that will be equals to 12 volts divided by 17.14 kilo ohm. So find out it. How much is the value of current? 12 divided by 17.14 K.
0.7 milli.
0.68.
0.68 amperes. Right?
Milliampere.
Milliampere, sir.
Okay, it will be in milliamp, right? And therefore, how much will be the power drop? Therefore, power drop across R1 dash equals to simply I square into R1 dash, right? So just take its square into R1 dash is 10K, you will get the answer. 0.68 milli square into 10 kilo ohm. Fast. 0.68 milli square into 10 kilo ohm.
4.9 milliwatt.
4.9 milliwatt. Is it correct? So during our discussion regarding the prerequisites, you already studied about various types of resistors, their power handling capacity and all that. Is it? So in this case, you can go for the lowest power handling capacity device, and that is SMD. Otherwise, if you have to design and develop the PCB by your own, you can switch to quarter watt resistor. Even if that SMD is also applicable, because it can sustain almost 50 to 75 milliwatt power. Right now, I highlighted it during that prerequisite, if you can recall. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now about this potentiometer, that is R2 dash. Potentiometers are also available. That also we discussed during our prerequisites, like that preset or quarter watt potentiometer, 1 watt potentiometer, 3 watt potentiometer, etc. Again, you have to finalize which variable resistor shall we prefer, because all these things, if we have to implement on board, PCB, printed circuit board, then can we go for that preset, that is PCB mountable variable resistor. You might have seen it, okay? And the power handling capacity of that preset in that category, that is variable resistor, it is minimum. While the power handling capacity of rheostat, it is maximum. Means it may be in kilowatts. But in our design, first of all, we have to finalize how much will be the power drop across that variable resistor. If it is somewhat greater than 200 milliwatt, then we have to go for the quarter watt potentiometers. If it is somewhat more than 500 milliwatt, then we have to go for that 1 watt potentiometer, right? By using the wire, we have to mount it on the PCB. But if the power handling capacity requirement is very, very less, almost 50 milliwatt or somewhat less than that of, then we can simply go for preset. Is it? So find out if that R2 dash is set at 7.14 K, current flowing through it is how much? You already determined it, that is 0.68 milliampere. How much will be the power drop across that R2 dash? Again, I square, that is 0.68 milli square into 7.14 K. Don't take 10 K, huh? Because this is the total resistance. Out of that, we will be want to use only 7.14 K. So the actual R available when your current flowing through it is will be 0.68 milli, it will be 7.14 kilo ohms. So it will be less than 4.9 milliwatt. Is it there?
4.8.
3.49.
4 point
8. 8.
4.8 milliwatts. Okay. So again, this value it indicates what? You can select that preset also, having a lowest power handling capacity, and it is PCB mountable. You can easily mount it on PCB and directly you can solder it. Right now, no need of that external wire and then to connect that somewhat large size potentiometer and all that. Is it? So this is the significance of such type of calculation. Shall we go for somewhat large value registers, or can we go for less than that of? Okay, so that it will be useful to minimize the circuit dimensions, or to compact, or to make that circuit somewhat compact. Is it? But not only try to make the circuit compact, because to have the compact size, if we try to select unnecessarily lower power handling capacity devices, then it will going on to damage also, right? So it should be very precisely calculated, and accordingly that component should get selected. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so our time is also over.